Alright, so we're gonna have to cut these episodes into part one and part two. This is part two. Where were we? Right. So, Christophsis is not recommended to go to because of it being a current war area. Camino with the Legion under the waves, waiting to be activated or given orders to join into the war effort. Eternally waiting for their masters to return. The third planet, Coruscant. The planet where your master resides, hiding amongst the Senate and in plain sight of the Jedi Order, but with his presence masked, and with a war going on. He is only a civilian to them. The fourth planet, and a place of great interest to you, is known as Terrace. Currently occupied by the Republic. But soon, there will be a Jedi out of time there. It is up to you to choose. But of course, if you wish for my recommendation, I recommend going to Camino first. There, you can get some more training under your belt before you go off to war. Is there any
War is what I
questions?
live for. War is my life. It's part of my culture.
I see. Well, your culture courses through the girl's veins. I hope you're aware of that.
I do believe I've put two and two together as far as that goes, yes.
Very well. Now tell me, what do you think of your former master?
You keep addressing him as that as though I was a slave.
Not enslaved, taught by one with many skills to pass down. I speak of him as a master in that regard.
Given what I've seen of his actions, I'd say that man has about the average intelligence of a bantha, just a bit more conniving.
Then let me put it this way. The Force has seen many futures and many pasts. Along many of them, that man will be the end of the war, so to speak. But with it comes two horrible prices. An entire two cultures put nearly on the level of extinction. And an empire of the likes that the Sith would call childish, but for the universe, a great scourge.
Then, in order to ensure that it doesn't come to pass, I need allies.
Exactly said.
The man in that. The man that you apparated. The one fighting that cyborg. You know where he is.
He will come later. In his current state, reasoning with him would be childish and a lost point of time.
You might be surprised what I'm capable of.
What he needs is his brother to come see him so he can be taken to Dathomir.
What he needs is focus, given from what I saw.
He will gain his focus in due time. But you have your own problems. You need to figure out what you are going to do, how you are going to keep your comrades safe. And on top of that, what is the plan on how you're going to deal with Darth Sidious? Once you leave this temple, I can no longer guide you.
Well then, Darth Treya, how about you reveal who you truly are instead of appearing as a long dead Sith? For the place where you fell is a planet long disassembled and slowly reformed, and not the one we're on.
You are correct. But one can achieve something far more powerful than being alive. In other words, I have become something that has been lost to time. Something you saw a lot in your period of time. But here in this era, no one knows. Except for 3, maybe 4. Of course, there are those from the old era that know how to do this as well. You call me an apparition. I am not so simply an apparition. I am who I am. I am
What
what
I
I
call
was.
you is someone hiding everything behind riddles. Speak plainly or shut up.
Then let me be blunt. I am one with the Force, but yet I still have my individuality, my identity.
You're a Force ghost. Get to the point.
Either way, I'm assuming you saw the T3 unit on your way here.
Yes.
That T3 unit comes with great history. In fact, you know what T3 unit that is.
I've got a bad feeling about it, yes.
I assure you, it is nothing so ill. It is your way to be concealed without trying to conceal yourself. The ship it has, the ship it maintains for centuries, the ship that has been lost and never disturbed since the time Mitra Sirik died. The vessel has not been claimed since her passing. Claim it and take it to Camino. There, you will have to graduate from your training. You wish to be not of Sith or Jedi, so follow the path set before you and crossed by one other. Find the one known as Revan. And with that, Correa disappears. And you're sitting in that room again. Or the room you were just talking with her in. Any fog that was on the ground has kind of dissipated.
Wonderful. Now that the Force apparition shenanigans are over with, let's see what's useful in here.
Several statues, skeletons of what look to be honor guards. That'll stick. Cobwebs, some scaffolding that looks like they were trying to repair this freaking temple. And a few tombs or sarcophagi. Sarcophaguses? Sarcophagi. Yeah, there we go. That's about it.
Well, is anything in here cursed?
Uh, roll me
Specifically the
perception.
sarcophagi?
Roll me perception.
19.
Well, I'd say the only thing that wasn't relatively cursed would probably be the spears that the honor guard had.
You say relatively.
Relatively because Pharaoh's curse kind of shenanigans.
Say again.
Basically, you open it, you get bad luck, and any of your comrades will die. That typical curse.
Got it. Everything in here is a big old do not touch.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, time to go deeper.
You go deeper.
Besides,
No,
she said there were trials. I didn't see any trials.
you just passed one.
No, I just stopped two children from hitting each other with glow sticks.
Uh, fair, fair. All right. Well, read.
Yeah.
Well, you're sitting in your room that you just ended two fucking saber duelists known as Kenobi and Skywalker.
Yes.
Behind you is, oh, the floor is covered in fog. Same in this room, and the hallway leading to a different room.
Before any of that, I'm gonna look to see if the third person that I noticed is still there.
He is not.
Hmm. Well, then I'm going to go towards the exit.
The way you came or forward into deeper the temple?
Forward.
Forward? Alright.
One does not retrace their steps unless they have lost something.
Fair enough. So, you go into the next room. What you see before you, actually, I should say, what the both of you see before you is a giant chasm with this little freaking platform in the center of this room. It's massive. There is bridges on both sides, connecting both of your pathways to the platform and to each other. How do you two, well, interact, if you will?
Hmm. First of all, I'm gonna use the fucking in-helmet comm system to make sure it's actually him.
You do so. What do you say?
Well, it goes along the lines of what was the first thing we discovered at the temple?
Your mother.
You're clearly not a fucking aberration. That's good.
I'll carry on with your interactions.
Other than that, I'm going to walk onto the platform.
You do so. Best, what do you do?
Walk onto the platform.
You do as well. So you're both on the platform. This is where you hear this giant, but not so giant or subtle roar coming from down below. How do you proceed?
Guess.
Yes,
Was that your stomach?
I wish. I thought it was your
Well,
friends.
it looks like we may be dealing with either a Terentitech or a Rancor. Either one of those I'm not particularly fond of.
Regardless of what it is, it's better to face it together than to face it alone.
The both of you see a platform kind of pop into existence, leading from your platform all the way to the other side of the chasm. Basically, the side of the chasm you guys are not on, leading to a giant ass doorway. From that doorway, you see a man in what looks to be, I'd say, a smuggler's uniform,
I don't
running
trust.
the fuck away from something, and he is hauling his fucking ass. And he's screaming at the top of his lungs.
This is a very, very young Han Solo, isn't it? Just for the Indiana Jones reference.
Yeah,
It might.
it's
But
fucking
here's
Han.
that also comes to mind. No longer canonized movie. Remember, the one where he was having some very dangerous cargo.
Oh dear God. Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Why does that come to mind in terms of creature when he happens to be running out? Hmm.
Fair. Scene I got was from New Hope when Han and Chewie went down that corridor chasing the stormtrooper, found themselves in a room filled of stormtroopers, and then came running back out.
You know what? I'm just gonna grab his arm as he tries going by and stopping him.
You do so. As soon as you've touched his arm, he fades away.
Great, more Force shenanigans. Here we go.
Memories upon memories, ghosts upon ghosts.
At which the both of you hear this roaring coming from the other side of the chasm. And the both of you
Lovely.
see a giant ass Gundark.
Oh,
I'm
fuck
just gonna use
you.
the Force to toss it off the friggin' side of the platform.
Roll me power.
You know what?
8 total.
Fuck you.
Okay.
I'm going to help.
Roll power.
9!
So you said you were gonna throw it off the freaking ledge, correct?
Yep.
Cool. Cool.
Just slide its leg out from under it and off the side.
Yeah, the both of you fucking do this. Except for once you've done this, you don't pull its leg out from under and drag it off the freaking bridge. No. How to put this? You use so much force, you rip the entirety of the leg out of its socket and completely off the flesh of the Gundark as it slowly falls to its death.
Looked at me wrong.
Looked at you wrong
Yeah,
or growled at you wrong?
I was expecting something a might bit more intimidating.
It is at this point that the both of you hear a feminine scream.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
There's only one person that could really be.
Yeah.
It's not Artoria.
Yeah. Yeah.
God
Yeah,
damn it, Barris.
yeah, he's just looking at Bets. It's like, shall we?
Might as well. Damn Jedi's going to get herself killed.
So both of you run across the bridge to the other side of the chasm to find Barris, well, literally covered in giant heaps of shit. And I mean that literally.
I'm sorry. Guess is busting his ass laughing.
You do so.
That is fucking funny.
Well, I think we know the first thing you're doing when we get back to a place with a shower.
Barris is just looking at you with a face of either help me or fucking kill me because I'm going to die of embarrassment soon.
What the hell happened?
Old woman is scary.
So you got shit on yourself?
Well, first there was a saber duel. Then I had to face a giant ass monster that either wanted to rape me or just stuff me in its shit. Then it stuffed me in
Mm-hmm.
its shit.
Please don't tell me you had trouble with the fighting.
I mean,
She's a Padawan. She had trouble with the fighting.
not my fault that the bitch decided to use floating lightsabers.
Excuses a lot. Everyone's got them.
Either way, love how none of you caught that Barris just swore, but alright.
Don't give a fuck.
Fair. So, what did the two of you do with Barris now?
I'm staying far enough away so I don't smell her.
You stay as far enough away so you can't smell her as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Aren't Mandalorian suits pressurized, though?
Fair enough. Though they probably do have some kind of smell detector. So you can smell, but not anything that's gonna kill you.
Mando literally says something in accordance to smell at one point, even with his helmet on.
Believe so.
That would kind of indicate that they can indeed smell from their helmet.
So yeah. Either way. Um yeah. I'll say this. Roll me a force projection or perception.
So D20.
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Michael?
Ah, 16.
Okay, well. So, since the both of you have gone into that fucking chamber, you sense that Empress, or so called Empress, along with Artoria, coming from deeper into the temple. Do you go deeper? Do you go back? What do you do?
Considering how that individual makes me feel, I'm going deeper with the intent of killing that.
And I'm going deeper under the intent of figuring out what the fuck is going on.
Fair enough. So, the both of you, along with Barris, go deeper into the temple
Yes.
to see Artoria and the Empress in a full on lightsaber duel.
Mhm.
And you can tell it's pretty much one sided, and Artoria's just playing with her food at this point. Yeah.
I see.
As skillful as the Empress is, Artoria's got her beat by speed and power. Well, I wouldn't say power, just more speed. Yeah. So, yeah.
End it already.
As you say that, you see several men in black robes kind of coming from the corners of the room, kind of closing in. Each one igniting a lightsaber.
Hmm. See, that's where I just want to take my fucking shotgun from my back holster and essentially say, all right, I'm not dealing with this shit right now. And he's going to fire at the closest one.
You fire at the closest one. You have the same effect as you do when you were shooting at Kenobi.
Son of a. Well, back to dual wielding.
Well, I got a theory.
What is your theory, my dear friend?
I'm gonna force pull one of their lightsabers into my hand.
You do so. The saber stops about a good meter away from you, as if it's being held back by something.
Interesting.
Also, I probably should elaborate. The formation these guys in the black robes are taking is more of a forced death match.
Essentially trying to circle us.
More of Circle the Empress and Artoria.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Either way, the Empress gets back up and Artoria goes back to countering every single movement that the Empress makes. However, this is where it gets weird. Because as soon as Artoria has knocked the Empress back down onto her ass, you see the Empress change figures. Combat style, appearance, everything changes. And you see a man covered in scars. It's like the man decided to sleep with fiber blades.
Oh hell no.
That's a that's a big hell no.
Yeah. Darth Sion, ladies and gentlemen. Eek. Either way, at the sight of this, Artoria's guard shoots way up. And you both can tell that she's no longer in a playful mood. Her guard's gone skyrocket up.
The
And
fact our guard was down in any regards is a little disappointing.
it wasn't necessarily down, it was more lowered with expectation.
It's a problem.
Either way, Artoria has taken more of a defensive stance. And the both of you, I require perception.
16.
You see it.
18.
You definitely see it. The both of you can see Artoria is shaking. Not too much, but it's a subtle shake. Almost as if she can feel the weight of its power and presence just by staring at him.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, Michael, do you still have that saber? Kind of trying to force ball it?
Yeah.
Alright. That saber now flies to your hand.
Well, I guess the only thing I can really do is redirect it at this dude as I go sprinting up to tackle him.
You redirect it, and you immediately see the ignited lightsaber he has turns off. However, the lightsaber you
Then,
threw at this fucker is currently roughly somewhere around his abdomen.
then I guess I'll frickin' hold it short then.
You do so. He's currently staring at Artoria. And after a few moments, he turns to look at all of you. And he says, "Do you know who I am?"
Kind of hard to mistake someone that looks like you.
I see my reputation precedes me then.
More your description in my case.
And my power for hers. Tell me, why are you four here? What is your purpose here?
Our purpose. You want to know our purpose in this place? Finding a way of stopping a madman claiming to be Sith, who is not.
I see. You've all passed your trials. The trial of peace, of war, forgiveness, and of course, embarrassment. And he's looking at Barris when he said that last one. You've all come a long way from a long, long time past. If you search to destroy a madman, why don't you start where several started a long time ago? A war started by a man who had a premonition of the future. A man I only met once. In the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. The day I purged it.
Wait. Run that whole shtick by me one more time.
A war
That
started.
that way I wrap it all around my head.
Alright, he just said, continuing a war started by a man who had a premonition of the future and started this war long ago. A man I only met once in the Jedi Temple the day I purged it.
Okay, so he is talking about Canderous. Wanted to make sure on that.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Problem is, I know where Canderous is going to be, and I'm pretty sure that's where a certain someone does not want us to go yet.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. Yeah. Boy. It's gonna be great and fun, right? No, either way. So, yes.
Or the temple, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Very much so. Either way. That man just so happens to have a daughter. A man that you know very much well of who he is. Her, not so much. I wish you luck in your future journey. Get what you need, and then depart this planet.
You're trying to order me to leave my home.
No. I'm telling you. Rest up. Don't stay here too long. And when you're ready, depart to your next destination.
Very well.
With that, you see Darth Sion go deeper into the temple. Only once about a minute or two has passed that he's been fully gone, that Artoria actually turns off her lightsaber and drops to her knees.
That's something that you know that we don't?
Can't be killed?
Impossible. Everyone can be killed.
He can't.
Yes, he can.
At which she gets up, starts walking to you guys, and says, check the records. He can't.
Anything can be killed. It's just a matter of how.
So, what did ugh, what do y'all do now?
Assuming he's still there, though, he is going to ask him, what, may I ask, was the true purpose of these trials?
You hear a feminine voice of an older woman. The trials were meant to test your character, to test whether you were Sith or Jedi, to test what was truly in your hearts, to see your resolve, what you would do in a circumstance, and how you would react to future allies and enemies.
I'm the only one who passed. I'm the only one who passed.
What do you got next? A jaw of sand?
I've got a jar of dirt. I've got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
It's your heart!
It's a jar of dirt, not sand. Get it right, you bitch.
Meh. Either way, yeah.
I got a jar of mine, Ox. I got a jar of mine, Ox. Guess what's inside it?
Please no.
Either way,
Anyways,
that is the answer you get.
hmm. But the question as to whether we as Jedi or Sith, it is awfully bold of you to assume that all of us, if any of us, can choose one side or the other.
Choosing one side or the other is not what we were testing. We were testing what side you were already on and what you might do in the future.
And he's just gonna kind of chuckle and respond with, to see which side you're on. Well then, from my trial, tell me, what side am I on?
Your tendencies of adaptability amongst war is of that of true Mandalorians of the old age. Your skill in combat is nothing more than an adept in our case. But here you would be considered a master.
You still haven't answered my question.
Your side would be Sith or Mandalorian.
See, as wise as you probably are, you forgot to mention or take note of the fact that what if I don't pick any side? What if I both accept and reject all sides? Because there's no balance with one or the other. You must be away from conflict in order to find peace. Yet, with one side or the other, there is always conflict. So, you must be both and neither at the same time.
Reed and Micah,
Joey.
you both feel something strange coming from your lightsabers. As if they're telling you to ignite them. once more.
Sure,
Shit.
fam. Kyber Crystal hasn't betrayed me before. Why would it now?
Like, sure, totally don't have a fucking kyber crystal that screams pure fucking rage. But sure. Yeah, he's gonna light them both.
You both ignite your lightsabers. They are no longer red.
And one red, one yellow.
They're no color except for white. In other words, your sabers have decided to take your stance on things of being neither Jedi nor Sith, but in the middle to keep the balance. Therefore, there won't be a color. That is why they shine white. They no longer bleed, yet they no longer prey. They are just there. They exist to balance out the Force. Those of the Sith and those of the Jedi. That is what these blades do. That is the stance you've taken. The Jedi is too set in her ways to become one of you. Yet the young Sith has already rejected them. Both Jedi and Sith are calling her a monster. She has yet to decide whether she joins balance of the Force or causes chaos for it. That is something she must learn on her own. And that can only come with experience and age. You are no longer knights of Jedi or Sith. You are Knights of Grey. Very few have turned their kyber crystals to white. You are among those few. You should be proud to have such a bond with your crystals. This is all we can do for you. At which the voice has faded, and any fog that was on the ground has dissipated. So what do the two of you do now?
Deactivate my sabers, of course.
You do so. And you feel your companionship with your sabers have strengthened, if you will. As if they're excited to go on the journey with you, or to continue fighting at your side. Whichever the case, you can't really tell. Michael, what do you do?
Good question. I don't really know.
Alright.
I do know exhaustion just hit me like a fucking rock.
Oh boy. Did you space out or what?
Might bit.
Ah, alright. What'd you miss?
That's a good question.
Alright, then I shall give you the short story. Your sabers are no longer of a color, they are white. Your bond with your sabers have grown, and Korea has praised you for being of a select few that have been able to do this out of all of the Jedi and all the Sith and all of those in between.
Okay.
After that, she kind of left, and the fog dissipated from the ground.
Well, do we want to go deeper or do we want to get the hell out of here?
Well, I don't know about you, but personally, I'd still want to look for any answers the rest of this temple can give.
So deeper it is.
So you all go deeper. Roll me perception.
That is a 15.
Nine,
15. Michael?
19.
19. Alright. Okay. So, as soon as you take a step towards the depths of this temple, you see flashes. Specifically of a man clad in black leather with a dark helmet, tearing an entire space station apart with just the force. Reed, you
Yes.
recognize this fucker as Anakin. That's a very old Anakin, but Anakin nonetheless.
Oh dear.
Yes. At which these flashes continue to show what looks to be a Venator starship under the water. And not just one, but thousands. As well as what look to be Mandalorians, all in shiny armor with different insignias for their legion. However, these Mandalorians don't seem organic. As in, their joints look to be a lot more heavy plated. It continues to go to a chamber deep below the sea, with what look to be several men in white armor, a single droid in silver, or not silver, but white and green, and a Jedi that looks to be a Padawan. Facing off against Revan. At which it then cuts to several Mandalorians on a modified Venator, all of which are talking to another Mandalorian, but he, you can tell, is far different from these guys, with silver and blue with a purple fatigues. As well as a firing squad preparing to kill what looks to be the captain of these Mandalorians, only to be stopped by Sheev Palpatine himself.
Yes.
After which you will see many of these white clad armored men having scorched armor with red visors. Reporting for duty, even though they're injured and probably should have died a long time ago. After that, you see what you can tell is the future. You can hear Sidious laughing. However, he does sound older. You can hear the screams of many millions of people suddenly being silenced. And you can see a bridge with soldiers and a Jedi leading a charge against an army of droids. For the Jedi to only stop and get gunned down by his own men. This happens with a lot of men in armor of white gunning down a Jedi, practically purging them. And you hear this: execute order 66. After which, you find yourselves outside the temple. What do you guys do now?
Try to stay awake.
Pretty much.
Oh, don't worry, we're almost done.
Well, we need to go get on that ship, I suppose.
Yes. So, I'll do a little time skip here. You've gone up the path where the T3 unit has told you to go. And you get to the ship that you were told to go to. And you instantly recognize it. It is a dynamic class freighter. And you remember full well of Revan owning a dynamic class freighter named the Emid Hawk. Do you step aboard?
Yeah.
As you've stepped aboard, the Force hits you like a truck with all the memories that's been made on the ship. Good, bad, the ugly, whole 9 yards. Events with Darth Revan and Mitra Sirik. Of the crew, both frickin' Jedi. Or both Force users, I should say. Roll me a d20 for the both of you.
Oh, that is 20.
Okay.
Same on my end.
Well, shit. Let's see what these two get. Yeah, no. Okay. So, the both of you are currently standing, but you feel like a truck fucking hit you. Just the force of it. On the other hand, Barris is pretty much thrown flat on her ass, and Artoria is currently on her hands and knees, trying to slowly get up. At which you hear a familiar beeping, saying, "Welcome aboard, Captain, or Master. What is the destination you wish to go to?"
Well, we were planning on going to Camino, weren't we?
So we might as well.
I shall input the coordinates to the Navi computer and have us ascending in the moment. At which you see T3 kind of stroll off and go do that. Artoria and Barris have finally gotten into the ship fully, and the loading ramp has been pretty much lifted up so it's no longer venting atmosphere. And that is where we shall call it. Good night, folks. Till next time.